you know, Sun Titan at the top end there.
And now we're joining our match in progress. They're just getting their opening hands. I'm Adrian Sullivan.
I'm Joey Pasco.
And right now we're in the beginning of round 4. Griffin Corrigan playing a blue-white illusions list. Collusion, if you like.
Collusion, did you say? I thought that was a collusion. Wait, that's not something you want to be talking about in a Magic tournament.
Torren and Doherty on the other side here with blue-green poison. Basically, I think card for card, the Mike Flores list. We see Griffin Corrigan dropping down, I think, a Phantasmal Bear.
Yeah.
And
there it is, collusions.
And Torren Doherty coming in with Inkmoth. Now remember, this deck is fully capable of killing even on turn 2, but it's much more likely to kill on turn 3 or turn 4, just because poison was not made. Well, let me restate this. Poison becomes broken with creature enhancement.
Yeah.
Dan and Neil, Alex, and Derek.
So no turn 2 play from Griffin,
Derek,
but
Alex,
swings in with the Bears.
Dan and Neil, Jack, Jesse, and Hasselbaum. Come on up to the main stage. We've got your order for you.
Torren drops an island. Goes with activate Inkmoth Nexus and play Distortion Strike.
That card is very
Inkmoth
dangerous.
Nexus. It really is.
And we see possibly a counterspell here. Or a dismember.
Dismember.
Ouch.
Distortion Strike is Rise of the Eldrazi. One of those cards that you don't really see play that much outside of Limited.
I think we're going to see a bear on the attack again.
Yeah.
Here he comes. And he says go.
Yeah, so...
Now, Griffin has so many potential answers here. Mana Leak, Spell Pierce, into the Royal Dismember. I'm going to say this is likely to favor Griffin. You see Ichor Claw near.
Yep.
4th land from Griffin Corrigan. I think that it's a Seachrome Coast. In his hand currently. Attacks for 2. Oh, but he also has a Tectonic Edge.
And that'll be very relevant considering the Inkmoth Nexus on Torren's side of the board.
And he's like checking it out, making sure that you can't actually use it there. See 3.
Right.
Oops.
Yeah.
Sorry, my bad.
Yeah, Torren, this is one of the other things. Like, this deck can run on less than 4 lands. So I said the Tectonic Edge was going to be relevant, but that all depends on whether Torren plays a 4th land.
Okay.
So far, what we've seen from Griffin is pressure plus removal, which is exactly what Torren does not want to see. So activates Inkmoth Nexus and swings into the red zone with Ichor Claw Mirror and Inkmoth Nexus.
Take 2 poison, a virtual equivalent of 4 life. Fifth land from Griffin Corrigan. He's really looking for something else to put on the table here besides that little bear.
Yeah, but I don't know exactly what he's got in his hand, but he may just be looking to make sure that pump spells don't resolve, you know?
Right. He could be turning into essentially a kind of an aggro control-ish moment here. He's got Into the Royal in his hand, I see.
I believe he also has Sun Titan and an island and a Seachrome Coast, so he's got kind of nothing. He may have an additional card that I haven't seen, but I've seen Island, Seachrome Coast, or is that Glacial Fortress? Actually, it may be both.
Into the Royal with Kicker.
Royal.
And we're going to see a Vines of the Vastwood not with Kicker.
All right, just protecting the threat. And that's another way this deck can play. Just protect the queen, as Flores put it.
Okay, I think I see another Into the Royal and a... pretty sure that's another Into the Royal.
No, it's Lord of the Unreal, I think.
Really?
Yeah, Lord of the Unreal is definitely in his hand. There's Sun Titan, there's Lord, and then there's Land, I think. Sun Titan, Lord, he's flipping those two back.
Flip. Attacking for 2. Griffin is actually halfway to dead right now.
Torren's not far either, though. Was that
Sun Titan, get back nothing.
Yeah. What does that do again? Well, nothing. Yeah, so Torren's halfway to dead, too.
Yep.
Although I think Torren's got the more threatening,
Okay, he just laid a land there. Activate, attack.
Right
you can
now
just do so many ways to kill Griffin. Groundswell die. That's it.
Yeah, wow, there you go. Right out of nowhere. It's funny how that Sun Titan, which, you'd think you want to play Sun Titan, but just tapping out just gave Torren the opening. He knows Griffin can't activate Tech Edge because it was tapped. He can play his 4th land and activate, get the bonus off of Groundswell. I mean, you can just see. Like, this is what we saw, I remember back in Orlando in Legacy. People playing a blue-green Infect deck, and it's like it can just win on a turn when you feel safe.
See, I definitely, did not like the Sun Titan play just because I don't know that Torren can go for it unless you're able to, you've already seen Dismember. I don't know that you can go for it unless you feel really comfortable with your hand, it's just too many things can go wrong.
Yeah. It is, it's funny how Griffin seemed like he was in a decent position. He was containing the Infect, containing Torren's side of the board. But as soon as he just tapped out, that was it. So it's like he should have just... I say that, but at the same time, what did he have in hand? He had like Lord of the Unreal.
I'm not sure.
I think all he had was Lord of the Unreal.
I don't mind dropping down Lord.
The Lord. I would have played the Lord, but again, he doesn't have any other answers. He could have kept the Tectonic Edge open though. If he had
I like keeping Tech Edge open. Yeah. So cards that Griffin can bring in, I think, are Vapor Snag, Flash Freeze, Deprive, Spell Pierce. Those are all reasonable. Flash Freeze seems particularly reasonable. Vapor Snag seems just great.
Yeah, I kept getting it confused with Vapor Snare, and I'm like, man, that is really, really close. I think it's even Vapor Snare may even also have the same artist. I can't remember. Raymond Swanland. I'm just checking. No, it's not. Okay.
On the other side of the table, Torren, I think, has access to cards that matter in the form of Autumn's Veil and Spell Pierce. Torren actually gets to become a true aggro control deck with those cards, putting down a clock and then protecting his clock.
Right. Yeah, it's so strange because I feel like I'm actually looking at 3 decks here because I keep seeing Squadron Hawk and thinking Clawblade. I see like Squadron Hawk, Sun Titan, Phantasmal Image, Preordained, Mana Leak, Spell Pierce, Into the Royal, Dismember, Jace Beleren. That whole section is Clawblade, and then he's just got like 4 Lord of the Unreal, 4 Phantasmal Bear. That completely changes the dynamic of the deck.
Collusion.
Yeah. It's so strange. It's a rogue strategy if I've ever seen one.
One of the ways to successfully create a rogue deck is hybridization, where you have a deck that works in some way, and what you do is you append into it things that take it in a new direction. Yeah.
We saw that happening last year with Mythic decks. I feel like there were like these Mythic, and then it became like Mythic Conscription, and then Mythic Conscription started merging with like Blue-White Control, where it would have Jace the Mind Sculptor and Elspeth and Gideon, and it was just like suddenly Mythic looked like Blue-White Control splashing green. It was very kind of this strange evolution of the deck.
Jeffrey and Michelle. That's Michelle, Jeffrey.
And we have our opening turns. Griffin with an island and a Nexus from Torren.
Griffin has a turn to Squadron Hawk. And Torren says, wait, what? What deck am I? Did you side into Clawblade?
What's going on over there?
Yeah. You were illusions in game 1. What is going on? I know that's what I'd be thinking. I'd be saying. And a forest for Torren. Can activate that Nexus and swing in if he wants to offer the trade with the Squadron Hawk, but that's a bad trade for Torren, I think. Yeah, go with the Ichor Claw Mirror.
Turn 3, Griffin lays a Seachrome Coast. Attacks for 1.
Yeah, I think he's just going to go Hawk go. Or should I say Caw go?
Caw. He does not forget to search and gets a single Squadron Hawk this time.
Yeah, I really wonder what Griffin was thinking playing that Sun Titan.
I mean, just after he's shown his opponent a Dismember, I think you just play the bluff out a little bit longer if you have nothing else.
Mm-hmm. So again, Torren has the opportunity to swing in with that Nexus, but I mean, what he could do here, I guess, given that Griffin has mana open, it's probably too dangerous. Yeah,
just take the one. One poison is fine.
Yeah.
It's not like he's under deep pressure right now.
Right.
Live Wire Lash. Oh,
Okay.
Spell Pierce that. No, thank you.
You definitely Spell Pierce the Live Wire Lash. That is, I feel like that card makes the deck playable.
At maybe Star City Games Richmond about a year ago, I saw somebody playing Poison, and they had Live Wire Lash in it, and it really impressed me.
I guess you're talking about last fall then, after Scars?
Yeah. Like almost about, I guess it'd be 10 months ago.
Yeah. So, Griffin's turn right now. He's got 4 untapped lands and 2 untapped Squadron Hawks. Goes into the red zone with the Hawks, doing the equivalent of 1 poison with his with 2 damage. As far as percentage of life total there.
It's
Griffin
a reasonable way to think about it.
Yeah, I mean, in this matchup you can kind of do that, but adds a 3rd Hawk to the board and passes. So he's got, I believe, is that a Flash Freeze in hand? Yes. He has a Flash Freeze in hand.
Attack. Griffin says fine.
Yeah, Griffin's, I mean, it's funny because Torren's happy to just keep getting in for small amounts of poison, but Griffin's happy to let him in, let small amounts in, you know, like make sure there's no crazy groundswell shenanigans happening. It's fine if he just takes 1 poison a turn. It gives Griffin plenty of time. So he gets in for 3 with his Hawks and adds the 4th Hawk.
Ordered from Bravo Pizza, Jack and Chris. Jack and Chris, please report to main event stage, or we are going to eat your pizza and make you pay for it.
Glistener Elf for Torren. I'll probably tweet it right now. And the Glistener Elf gets the Flash Freeze, which I think is the right play. Keep that 2nd creature off the board.
You know, it's just a creature kill spell. It doesn't matter how it got to the yard, right? Just get it in the yard.
Right. The good thing about the Flash Freeze, though, is that Torren can't play Vines of Vastwood to protect it, to protect the Glistener Elf from being countered. So, all 4 Hawks in the red zone. So it's been a long time since I've seen 4 Squadron Hawks naked, no swords, just all in the red zone. We got a 4-0 from Shaheen Sarani and Jerry Thompson. Both.
Shaheen Sarani walks by and just gives us this look like, in the bag.
Jerry Thompson 4-0, beat Valakut this past round. So Torren now in the red zone with the Ichor Claw Mirror yet again.
Getting more and more dangerous.
Darkwing Duck. You remember Let's Get Dangerous? Darkwing Duck, though, is what we called the black version of Callblade back in DC, I think. So there's a mutagenic growth, which Torren appears to have paid the Phyrexian mana cost on.
That's very, very bold.
Yeah, exactly. Putting it, he's got a 2-turn clock. I mean, Griffin's got a 2-turn clock on Torren now just because of that mutagenic growth. Of course, Torren's clock's pretty fast too, as we saw last.
And remember, Torren does have the potential to have an Autumn's Veil to protect this.
That's right. Autumn's Veil, another spell that you don't see very much. You know what? Let me switch these. That makes it a lot more. I just realized that.
So we're going to see perhaps the first attempt to deal with this mutagenic growth. What is it going to be? Into the Royal, perhaps? Flash Freeze? Griffin's thinking. Doing some mental counting. Flash Freeze. I see a Vines of the Vastwood in Torren's hand. Only 2 color sources in play, 2 forests. Different art there. We got the full arts and we've got the regular frame art.
Mirrodin forest. There's Vines of Vastwood with kicker into the Royal. That
kicker,
that
just
wrecks the entire entire game plan.
That was a very bold play, but if Torren has a lot of backup pump, it's not too risky if you can just retry again the next turn.
So Torren puts that Ichor Claw Mirror back on the table after getting it bounced. Passes the turn back to Griffin, who swings in with the 4 Hawks. And
Torren's at 4.
Yeah, Torren's dead next turn to those 4 Hawks. Griffin is completely has all his mana available here. 5 lands. Yeah, I can't speak today for some reason. There's a Livewire Lash from Torren. Mana Leak from Griffin.
In for 1.
In for 1 poison.
Now remember, the Inkmoth Nexus can chump block. Not chump, trade with one of those Squadron Hawks, buying Torren another turn. He's like, wait. Activate. Kill it with the edge. To the next.
Yeah. So game 3 here. Griffin pulls that one out after 4 Squadron Hawks getting to the red zone multiple times. For those of you who may just be joining us, I'm Joey Pasco here in the booth with Adrian Sullivan. We're watching round 4 of the Star City Games Open Series here in Boston, Massachusetts. We're watching Griffin Corrigan playing a deck that Adrian dubbed Collusions because it is essentially half Call Blade, well, half Call Go, I have to say, because there are no blades, half Call Go and half Illusions. Now, Griffin played an Illusions deck, a mono blue Illusions deck, to a pretty high finish. I want to say it was 10th place at the TCG Player event last weekend. And so to see him playing Illusions again is not too much of a surprise. I was actually hoping that's what he would be playing, but he's updated the list to include pretty much half of a Call Go deck, as I said. Playing against Torren Doherty, who is playing Blue-Green Infect, which is very close, if not identical, to Mike Flores' list that Mike played in the TCG Player event last week. Mike also wrote about it on Friday in his premium article on Star City Games. You can check that out if you want to see the list. Both players tied up here with a game each. We saw Torren win kind of by surprise, game 1, after Griffin tapped out for a Sun Titan, Torren was able to swing in with an Inkmoth Nexus and a Groundswell just for 5 poison. And game 2, Griffin Corrigan just finished on the back of 4 Squadron Hawks and enough removal and counterspells to contain Torren's poison creatures. I've already seen a number of archetypes. In fact, of the 3 rounds we've watched, we've seen 6 different archetypes. Blue-black control, Callblade, Valakut, none of those surprises. A Bant Pod list, which has been doing pretty well. We saw that in French Nationals. And again, blue-green poison and this Call Illusion deck.
Collusions.
Yeah. Really,
I mean, my gut basically goes this way. Griffin got hit by the surprise factor game 1 in the way you talked about. I mean, he could see that he was playing against a poison deck.
right.
But I mean, he was not respecting how much could happen to him, I
Right.
think. It's possible that he was doing that, or he just decided, alternately, just to see if Torren had it. And
Right.
if he didn't have it, then to take over the game. I think, though, that game 2-3, we're going to see more caution from Griffin.
Yeah.
And
Caution. Was that a
Caution.
C-A-W-T-I-O-N?
Yeah, that's right.
Sorry. No, I mean, I think with that Sun Titan play, the real thing for me with that play is that he didn't even have any way to get value off of the Sun Titan. He didn't even have anything to get back. So that even further makes me more hesitant to play the Sun Titan. If he were playing that Titan and getting something out of it,
Right.
I could have seen that as, hey, I'm going to call his bluff, I'm going to make him have it, or I'm going to take over the game. But just playing a 6/6 that does nothing that turn, it's not that attractive. He could have waited just a little longer.
See an opening. Torren looked like land go to me. We'll see in a moment. Yep,
Yeah.
Forest go.
Forest. And Griffin, Glacial Fortress. Forest from Torren, and an Ichorclaw Mirror on turn 2.
We get a Seachrome Coast. Go. And a land from Torren. Attacks for 1 poison. A second Ichorclaw Mirror is added to the table, joining the first one. No response from Griffin there. Griffin lays a 3rd land. I think Griffin is going to say go here. Plays a 4th land. Attacks with 2 Ichorclaw Mirror. And we get a Dismember on one of those Ichorclaw Mirror. Dismember particularly powerful against a poison deck because you don't fear the life loss. See a Vines of the Vastwood with Kicker in response. Flash Freeze for Vines of the Vastwood, counters Vines of the Vastwood, and the Ichorclaw Mirror dies. 1 poison from the other Ichorclaw Mirror, and a Live Wire Lash hits the table. Griffin has land in hand. Looking for which play to go with. Looks like he's going to lay a Glacial Fortress instead of his Seachrome Coast. Says go. Livewire Lash equipped. Looks like Griffin's pausing here. Dismember once again in response. And it works. Or is that Into the Royal? No, Vapor Snare. 1 mana Vapor Snare. It's unsummon. Return target creature to its owner's hand. Take 1 damage. And a Mana Leak to completely wipe Torren's board clean. He's got 2 cards left in his hand. Livewire Lash in play. No creatures. Seachrome Coast for Griffin. And we might see Griffin's first aggressive spell, perhaps.
The main event stage, $10 booster draft, number 4. Steven Swire to the main event stage at your convenience, please.
Looks like he has a Phantasmal Image and an Into the Royal in his hand. Nope, that's a Lord of the Unreal. So now it's Lord of the Unreal facing down Livewire Lash and nothing. Torren untaps, says go.
Not looking good. Griffin at only 2 poison.
This is what I was kind of talking about before with that lack of creatures. I mean, Griffin does not have a lot of creature removal, and he just totally has taken Torren out of this game because Torren does not have very many ways to attack.
And the interesting thing here is that Lord of the Unreal is not an illusion himself. So
I wish he was.
Yeah, well, in this case, it could be a liability because Torren could just play a pump spell on it to kill it. Torren doesn't really play much removal, but if Lord of the Unreal were an illusion, it would die to a pump spell.
So you're saying it's good that it's not an illusion?
In this case, it is.
Fair enough. And now we have an illusion. That is a Phantasmal Image copying the Lord of the Unreal.
Right, which is
Making
interesting
him
because...
a Super Lord of the Unreal.
Right, it's a Lord of the Unreal, but it's also an illusion, but it has hexproof because of itself and also the other. So because Lord of the Unreal, actually, I thought it said other illusions, but it actually says illusion creatures you control, and he's not an illusion. So the Phantasmal Image gets hexproof from the Lord of the Unreal, but also from itself because it's copying a Lord of the Unreal.
Ataxian Probe, paying life. I'm not sure about paying life here, honestly. You've got mana. I suppose if you're looking to get a Blighted Agent off the top. He's only got 1 blue source, perhaps?
Yeah, that's possible.
Oh, it might be a Blighted Agent.
Yeah.
That is an agent.
Especially considering Flash Freeze does nothing against Blighted Agent.
Flash Freeze into the Royal. Equips the Livewire Lash. In response, into the Royal with Kicker. And I think we're going to see a Veil. Autumn's Veil here? Oh, I'm wrong. No Autumn's Veil. No Vines of the Vastwood, no Autumn's Veil.
Now, obviously, Torren saw the Into the Royal. Was that all just a...
get it out of the hand?
Get it out of his hand, just trying to get rid of it?
In for 5, perhaps. Could be more, depending. Tectonic Edge hits the table.
Isn't
attacks
that 6?
for 5.
Because it's a 2/2 already, and it pumps itself, and the Lord of the Unreal pumps it too.
Oh yeah, it pumps itself. There you go. So it's 6.
Yeah,
now we get our
4/4
first Squadron Hawk filling up the board. The hand, I should say.
Oh,
Andrew, we
Three
have
hawks.
food from Bravos. Come on up to the
Hawk, hawk, hawk.
Andrew, come on up to the front. Claim your food from Bravos.
Knowing Torren knowing that Griffin only has Flash Freeze Hawk in play, Griffin takes advantage of that and says, I'm just going to throw 3 Squadron Hawks onto the board. Good luck getting through all of them.
Here it is, our agent, which is probably too slow.
Now here, though, he equips the agent with the lash, knowing Griffin can't do anything about
Right.
it.
And now he could target it twice.
Target it, or more if he has mutagenic growth. If
He's only got 3 cards, so...
Right. Well, I'm just saying, like, he has the potential to...
Oh, yeah.
To target it more than twice.
I think if he just... right now, he can block one of the illusions. He's definitely still alive. It's just rough beats right now for where he's at.
Yeah, so... I'm wondering... I mean, it really depends on what he's got in his hand if he just doesn't have... So there's another Lord of the Unreal, which is gonna add a lot of, well, no, it actually only adds 1 more power to the board, besides its own 2. But in this attack, it only adds 1 more power. So, yeah, he's trying to show him Phantasmal Image is both a Lord of the Unreal and an illusion. So it's got hexproof. It's getting pumped 3 times because it's pumping itself. So it's a 5/5.
One more person for a competitive booster draft.
It not having that text, other, does make it kind of a little bit of a surprise a lot of times.
Right, yeah, because so many lords say other.
And 5 for another $10 draft.
We see our first play here.
Mutagenic growth.
The pump, paying mana for it.
Yeah, because he can't afford the life loss right now.
I think he might be targeting Griffin with the damage from the trigger. I mean, my thought would be, the way he pointed his finger, I think he should be hitting that Lord, I think. That Lord of the Unreal. But I couldn't tell. I think he might have indicated otherwise. Oh, nope, good. That's the thing I want to see happening. At least in terms of,
so that saves
plays.
That saves 3 damage right there. Just taking care of the 2 from the Lord itself and then the pump. So that Phantasmal Image is back to being a 4/4 because, again, pumping itself and then the other Lord of the Unreal that's sitting there, the summoning sick Lord.
And that will be enough then for that Blighted Agent to simply finish combat and kill that Phantom. Phantasm, Illusion, whatever it is.
What the Blighted Agent is... Oh, wait.
And then we see the counter spell, so it doesn't resolve.
Okay. And
we got another one.
Groundswell, which of course is just going to be worth +2/+2.
Yeah, kills the other Lord of the Unreal.
Does the Groundswell resolve? Looks like it does. Obviously, I think it does. And
then they kill each other. And Torren actually don't kill each other. It actually... Yeah, no, it does kill each other.
The agent is just a
5/3, and yeah. So it takes 3. Torren goes down to 3, nearly dead.
With 4 Hawks on board, so if he doesn't top deck Pyroclasm,
I think he's dead. He just crossed down his hand.
Too. Yeah,
there it is.
Just could not get there.
Oh, he's looking at the top of his library and not happy about it. He's like, I think I had you.
Yeah, it was odd that that Blighted Agent was summoning 6.